anyways, I was saying was so saw the lights in the sky. I couldn't record it, couldn't get a picture of it, and people would always after that would be like, "Oh well, Tim saw something in the sky, but he'd been drinking, and who knows if it was real." But he'll tell you an alien story about UFOs he saw in the sky, and but because we live in a modern age, I was able to look it up and find out that it was SpaceX. It was the SpaceX satellites that I saw, but who knows if in the past all these stories like that we are like, well, you had a camera, you didn't take a picture of it, like, oh, the picture didn't came out. Like, there's so many stories like that. Like, they try to take pictures, and it's too blurry, or you couldn't tell what it is, and that made me a lot less skeptical of it, because it was a real thing. It was real satellites, but I couldn't get a good shot of it on my phone, so it made me less skeptical of people being crazy. Yeah, so just less skeptical, more apt to believe people's accounts, even though eyewitness testimony is pretty garbage, even for like real things. Problem is, people can't help but embellish memories. They want to try and give you a full picture of what they saw, so their mind generates information that wasn't there. As I also enjoy good stories, I also suspend disbelief just to enjoy a really well told stories. So I think like those like creepy pasta stories were so intriguing for a while. They became less so as people started copying the same story and just changing small details. And they're fun. The one like story that I liked, I forget what it's called. It's like Road 11 with some story about how you there's this road that travels around and you can find it late at night if you go driving out like in the country or somewhere, and eventually you'll see this road to turn down, and if you turn down it, um there's like all these creepy things that will happen, like your car will start to act up, and then you'll see shadows moving around your car of like people, but you can't stop, you have to keep driving, and if you make it through all the creepiness you get like your wish, but you have to get through all the creepiness, and then your fortune. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. I didn't see it, but it's a fun story. I also like the story of the elevator game. I think that's a fun little spooky story. There was once like a there was like a book of scary stories when I was a kid. Like there was like a series of three like scary stories, more scary stories. I think one of them that I really liked was a girl like wakes up um, and realizes that she's late for church, and so she's going. I think it's the she's trying to go to mass, and she goes to the mass and sits down, and people start coming in. But she doesn't really recognize any of the people, and then I think she sees the priest and doesn't recognize the priest right away, but she like thinks there's something familiar of him about him, and then it's supposed to be like her great grandmother or like a great aunt comes and sits next to her, and that's when like hits her, like the priest is like this old priest that's dead, her great aunt is dead, and she's come to the church during the when the dead say mass, and I forget how it ends. Like I think she's told like she's got to get out of the church before anyone else notices that she's alive, like her great aunt is like warning her, and I think she escapes, but it's pretty close that she doesn't make it out of the church. I think by the time she gets like halfway down the aisle to leave, like people are starting to notice that she's alive, and like she gets to the end, and it's like a mad scramble to get out the door. It was a good scary story. my grandpa was a really good storyteller, and he told us the story when I was a kid of La Llorona, the crier. If you haven't heard the story, it's a pretty basic story of a mother or a woman, a young girl gets pregnant outside of marriage, and she hides her pregnancy. And then when she delivers her baby, she goes down to the river late at night and delivers the baby, and then drowns the baby. So God curses her to wander the waterways forever, looking for the soul of her baby. And if you're young and you're out at night and you're around any sort of like river or stream or pond, any body of water, La Llorona will find you and drown you. So that's a good story. But my grandpa would tell about my great 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 uncle Henry, who was a drunk, and that one night he was leaving the bar and he saw this girl and she was walking through the town crying, and he said she was like this beautiful Spanish girl. So he went to go kiss her, and she wouldn't kiss him, and she kept like walking away from him, pushing him away, and he kept trying to kiss her. And then just before the sun came up, he grabbed her to kiss her. This was a very unwoke story. And she turned towards him as the sun hit her face. She turned into a skeleton and then dust and blew away. And he realized that she was La Llorona. And that's why his hair all turned gray, which serves him right for trying to kiss a girl without consent. What's funny is that when my grandpa told the story, there was no prop there. The needing consent was not part of that story. All right, that's it for today. I have an appointment to keep. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good Monday. Hope you had a good weekend and a good week. And God bless you. Have fun.